Tankers, welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm of course your host, TVP Blitz, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the brand new Czechoslovakian Tier 10 medium, the TVP T50 in World of Tanks Blitz. Now this vehicle is one that a lot of you probably want to get your hands on. It is a burst autoloader, and what that means is that it takes a very long time to load in 4 shells, but in a matter of 6 seconds you get all 4 of those shells unloaded, and you're dealing over 1,240 damage in a clip. Yeah, that's pretty dang deadly. Now, normally I like to do live gameplay, and in fact I did do live gameplay for the first 2 games I played in this tank on Fort Despair and Himmelsdorf, and even though they weren't bad games by any means, the games were, you know, if we go all the way back, we did pretty dang good for both of them. We did 3,500 in both, even though one was a defeat. But really in those games, I was uploading the video, and then I started to play more in it. And well, now we're averaging over 4,000 average damage in the vehicle for 5 games. So obviously, it's a closed perspective right now. There's not much to ride on. It'll probably go down a lot on the average damage. We're just getting lucky currently. But I thought that why not show the better games on this tank out of the 5 I've played. That way you can really see the potential of this vehicle in a good game, and really what this clip means. Now, this tank was actually buffed during testing. It was, to what I remember, it had a 2.5 second danger clip on each shell, and then they brought it down to 2. And that made the DPM go up a lot, made the DPM go up about 200, and as well, it made the tank a lot deadlier, of course, because now you're able to get out each shell a lot quicker. This tank pretty much makes vehicles like the Batchat feel sad now. It's also got decent gun depression. I think it's sitting at 8 or 9 degrees, so pretty good. The DPM is now about 2,700, which for an autoloader is very high, of course. Now, the weird thing is autoloaders in Tier 10 for Blitz actually always have high DPM, which is weird, because normally autoloaders have a lower DPM, but they trade that off for being able to punch out a lot of shells in a very quick succession, but I guess not really anymore in Tier 10. Better example of that would be like the AMXs at Tier 8 and other stuff like that. So, the TVP, well, what do I think? I think it is a great line to grind, and I don't know if it's going to be nerfed, because to what I know from the testers playing it, I just can't see how you could possibly do bad in the vehicle, because look at this. We're going to shoot this tortoise 3 times, and even though I'm not able to get out my 4th shell, that is still 800 damage, and you know what? There you go. We still get a shot into that T54. So we took off 1,123 hit points in that short amount of time, and then we just reload. And even though we did lose about 700 hit points, we still dealt about 500 more in damage dealt. Yeah, that's pretty dang deadly. That poor tortoise is now half health, even though we didn't get our last shell in. The thing that I'm issuing with this tank is that it's got too much mobility combined with a 1,200 shell gun, and combined with the ability gets all that damage out super quickly. You can see we're already at 1,500 damage, and even though this tank is bleeding quite a bit, you will see the armor on this tank is non-existent. We're getting pinned in the side. It's a very large vehicle, and the turret armor doesn't really exist, but this is a full health M103. We're going to load in those AP shells here, go for that trap wheel, of course. There's 1 tracking shot, and there is 2 tracking shots, and with that, that was 1,000 damage added to our pallet. Pretty much the same damage there is what a Batchat T25T would have dealt, and now my teammate in the Skoda is going to absolutely wreck this guy and take him out of existence. So we're doing a pretty solid job, honestly. We've done, we've done 2,400 damage. We're reloading our clip once again, and this is the example I wanted to show of this vehicle. A full health T125, 1 shell, 2 shells, 3 shells, and even though my teammate does block me for the last one a little bit, we're able to get out that 4th shell. That was 1,320 damage clipped out, and now we are sitting at 3,800 damage. 100 damage. So, yeah, this thing is just crazy seeming, and I honestly think, and I've said this many times, that I think this tank is going to be OP, especially if you're running this thing in double platoons. Imagine how absolutely toxic it would be seeing the TVP in a double platoon. You're in your Object 140, your T22 medium, it doesn't matter what you're in, and you just get bum rushed. You know, you see the platoon and they just drive right over the ridge and they instantly kill you because they've got 2,400 clip potential, which is enough to clip your entire medium and then some. It's got enough after that to actually keep on going. So yeah, the first game here, as you can see, we did 4,100 damage. We did block 1K, but don't expect this vehicle to block damage. It does have decent upper plate armor if you're using the max gun depression, but really, you're not going to expect to get bounces. I'm not even going to bother to bring up the armor profile because it really doesn't have any armor. If you want to penetrate this vehicle in the turret, just don't shoot the mantlet. And it's not like a Vickers mantlet where it's a very large mantlet. You can see that the mantlet only takes up like 30% of the turret, so yeah, it's quite easy to penetrate. The sides of this tank are very easy to high explosive, the rear is easy. It's a pretty easy tank to take out. So now, what do I think of the camouflage? I think it's meh. I don't think it's anything spectacular, but I do think it seems pretty dang good. And I honestly think the camo is based off of the Star Wars franchise. It just looks like Star Wars. I don't know why. It just looks like Star Wars to me. And I actually like the name of the camo. It's called the Instigator, because I really do find this tank will be instigating a lot of arguments in Blitz, because it's probably going to be quite annoying to be playing your medium, la-da-da-da-da, and then this thing pulls out, clips you for 1200 and backs up, and then you can't push on it because it's got a teammate. So there's one shell into the TVP, there's two shells, that's already 650 damage, there's a shell into the T54, that is 971 damage, and then I'm reloading the clip. Like, it just seems so crazy. In 4 seconds, you're able to deal just shy of 1,000 damage. 4 seconds. It takes a Bat Chatillon, almost 6 seconds to deal that. It's 5.6, or 4.6. Yeah, a lot quicker than the 4 seconds on this vehicle, and it just seems to pile out damage over and over and over. We got that TVP there. I will say, the gun is not the most accurate. That is one of the big drawbacks, is the accuracy on the gun. It's really not the best. I've been messing around with it. It will struggle. But again, look at the side of the C3. So there's one shell in, there's a heat shell, and let's get that third shell out. Let's get that in. So that's, again, about 800 hit points we've taken off of him. And then we're going to use the decent reverse speed of 20 it has and get back into cover quite quickly. And there comes our grill. Now, I will say, this grill, yeah, he was special. He didn't do the necessarily best of jobs here. Somehow that E3 managed to miss the grill. But, yeah, I don't know why this grill pushed out, because, yeah, that was a bit of a mistake there. But you know what? We got our clip, of course, so we're going to get 3 shells into this 183, finishing them off. And then we've got 1 shell left over for Jetto. Like, you can see just how strong this vehicle is. And of course, I'll skip this just a little bit while we're waiting for our clip to reload. So, yeah, there's not much to really know about the clip reload. But I think the biggest thing that Tester said, the reason why I needed a buff, was because of the long clip reload, plus the 2.5 incher clip. You have to take so long to get out the shells, and then you have to wait so long, people just rush you. But to what I find, like this TVP here, all I'm going to do is rush this guy. Even though he has a clip, I need to clear him. So I'm going to get 1 shell out, and let's get that final one. So there you go. There goes the full health TVP, pretty much. Now we've got the Camouflage 70, who I'm actually very surprised wasn't rushing me at this moment. I was very, very surprised, because if he had rushed me, it probably could have gone very, very poor. But this WT, I'm going to give him credit. He actually helped me out big time here. He was a great teammate. There you go. Nice shot into the Kampfpanzer from that WT. And this is where I'm noticing some big issues. So we got to get out of here, of course. We got the Kampfpanzer off to the front. We've got the... we do have the Kampfpanzer off to the front. We got the Jagdpanzer off to the rear, and I really wanted to get a shot into this guy's track wheel, but yeah, that's what I said about that turret being very, very weak. You can see I fired a shell at his track, but got to reload it, so I'm just going to reload the whole clip, and now I'm going to try and get out of here. So what I'm going to do is, I know I'm pretty much undetected currently, so he doesn't know where I'm going. I'm going to cut around this corner. I was praying that I wouldn't get detected, and now we are in the safety zone. This is where we can flank around to the side of the enemy team. We know that the Jagdpanzer E100 is off to the side, and there he is spotted. So what I want to do is I want to try and sneakily get my way across the side here. I don't know where the Kampfpanzer actually went at this moment, so I'm just thinking, okay, we're going to shoot the Jagdpanzer, and again, this is where this tank seems just way, way too strong to me. We're going to fire 1 more shell in there, get a little bit of overmatch on the side of that Yag, and we brought what was a pretty dang healthy Jagdpanzer that made that WT quite scared to push to a literal potato. And we're sitting at 4,787 damage so far. And all that we need is literally 1 clip into this guy, and we'll finish him off fully. So that's exactly what I'm thinking here. The Kampfpanzer's at 1,335 hit points, and this is what my big brain plan was. I was like, okay, we're going to shoot this Kampfpanzer, we're going to give him a little love tap, and then we're going to tap him 1 more, and another 1 time, and then there we go. Nice tracking shell. We're going to go right for that upper plate. Now that I can't really say much for. That's just the big sad moment. But nonetheless, this WT thankfully gets that shell into that guy. I was really worried that I was going to get killed there, because I was going to be so disappointed. But nonetheless, we were able to survive the game and pull out a 5,914 damage battle. Pulled out the mastery. That was just a really, really good game to show what the strengths are of this vehicle. Now, of course, one thing you need to keep in mind is that this isn't its everyday games. Of course, I'm probably getting lucky for the first couple of games. There's going to be games where I get absolutely bum rushed by mediums and I die instantly, but I do think that this tank is going to be overpowered. It's just the ability to get out a clip like that and then reload it and then get it out, especially in platoons. I honestly can't see what testers were struggling with in this vehicle. You just play it like a Lorraine or a Batchet and you do fine. So I honestly don't see the issue, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video. Would I suggest to grind down this line? I would suggest to, if you're a experienced player though, because for a newer player, as much as I hate to say it, and I love new players out there trying to understand the new concepts of the game, it is a tricky tank to run. It definitely requires a bunch of skill. You got to know who to push, what to push, when to push, and it's quite tricky. As my old saying is, clip and dip. You got to do that with this vehicle. You got to clip and GTFO as quickly as possible because it does struggle on that area. So it definitely requires a lot of skill, and that's why I would definitely suggest only for maybe a lot of people that have a little bit more skill. You know, and you obviously know you're on skill cap, so I can't judge that for you, but hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video. As always, if you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll be talking about the Tier 9 tonight, and then we'll move our way to the Tier 8, the Tier 7, and the Tier 6. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. But other than that, hopefully all of you will be seeing in the next one.